All right, my friends and gems, we are live. Welcome to our information question and answer session about the cell activation patches. And I'm Dame Lillian Walker. And Sherry, thanks for joining. And Carol, great to see you again. Let me take my little chimes off here so that we can hear each other better. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. I'm going to answer a question that somebody just asked me. I get questions from people from everywhere about different aspects about these patches. And somebody said today, well, if 12 hours are good, 24 hours are probably better. What happens if I just wear these patches 12 hours a day so that for 24 hours I'm signaling my cells to repair and to restore and to regenerate everything? Because I got a lot of things going on in this body and I want it to happen as quickly as possible. So with all things having to do with the human body, it's kind of similar to a house or a car. If you had a car and you were driving it all the time in fifth gear at 150 miles an hour, wouldn't be long before that engine would blow up because it would simply get too hot. And because you're not allowing the temperature to come back down by downshifting into fourth, third, or second gear, you would wear out that car much faster than you would otherwise. Same thing is true with the human body. Most people don't have experience with the patches, but let me tell you, kind of give you something else that might give you a better idea. Something that a lot of people already actively do, and that's using castor oil packs. So when you use a castor oil pack, that oil seeps, it penetrates into your skin and it pulls out. It doesn't matter if you have a cyst, if you have a fibroid, if you have a tumor, if you have a knot in a muscle, whatever it is that's out of sorts, that thing is going to be pulled out with the castor oil. But you can't be wearing the castor oil pack 24 hours a day. Why? Because you need to allow the body time to go from being in a sympathetic state of being, which is when you are bright, awake, alert, and you have to allow the cycle of your parasympathetic system, which is your basically rest, repair, and restore. It's when you're asleep, when you're resting. There is a certain amount of reparation that's going in your body every time you relax and you go to sleep. Now, things that were of benefit to you during the day, the other side of the coin, it can level up because you are in a relaxed state. Those muscles aren't tense. You're not going at, 50 miles an hour. Your brain is not in that beta brainwave. It is in a theta or delta brainwave. And now you can have things that otherwise would not be able to be repaired. It's like the other half of the equation, much like when you put your hands together or you're clapping. You can't just have a one-handed clap. You need both hands. You need the yin and the yang. And so it's important that you match the 12 hours of signaling in the body from morning till evening. And then you remove the patches and you allow your parasympathetic system to turn on. And now instead of being in that alert state, you're in that relaxed state. And now from sunset, the 12 hours that you have removed the patches until the morning, that's the flip side of the coin. And that's how you're balancing. If for whatever reason you wear it for 24 hours, you're not going to turn into a pumpkin or grow a third arm or a tail or anything like that. No, remember, we're turning more of you back on. The original you, more of those cells are turning back on. So now it's just a matter of honoring the cycle of reparation and then restoration as you relax and allow that work to be done in your body. It's like rest and digest. You eat the food and then you rest and digest it. So if you will, you can think of your parasympathetic system as being the digestion that's taking place while you're relaxing. I think most people are aware that when you eat food, right after you eat food, it's not a good time to go, like right after you're done, to go running or to go jogging or to go have a heavy workout. Why? Because your system is digesting whatever food you ate. And so all the blood of your body, which is why some people after lunch, they'll have a big lunch, for example, and then their body is pulling all the energy to their digestive system. So some people get sleepy. That's actually it's not a good sign if you're getting sleepy, because that means that there's not enough blood flow for your body to take care of digestion and for you to be awake and alert with what you have going on. So that's signaling to you that something's a little off. So In fact, I'll tell you a little story. This is years ago. When I was a kid, I was probably about 11 or 12 years old. And then one of my cousins, she, after dinner, she got on her bike and went bike riding. And then, wouldn't you know, she ended up falling off of her bike and she ended up breaking her leg. Terrible. And part of it was that she said that all of a sudden she felt herself dizzy. And the next thing she knew, she blacked out and she broke her leg. And so the thing with that was that kind of brought it really to my attention. It's like, wow, you really should not go bike riding after. And I didn't know, I was 11, 12 years old, so I didn't know anything that much about the human body. However, once I got older and I, was pre-med and started studying, I started in high school studying all things medical because I graduated from high school and I graduated as a paramedic at the same time. So I started working in the ER when I was a senior in high school. And so as you learn about the human body and how the systems work, yeah, your digestive system pulls in all the blood into your stomach and into your intestinal tract in order to process that. So bottom line, we need to honor the sympathetic as well as the parasympathetic. So your alert state and your rest state. All right. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on with this presentation. I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys. Sherry, Carol, Paige, I want to thank you for being here. We're simulcasting to YouTube today. And I want to share this picture here of Marcy, and then I'm going to show a brief little video clip of what Marcy looks like so that you see not just the picture, but you actually see her live, if you will. So let me share with you. This is what Marcy looked like 4 years ago. And when she was on the patches, the first 30 days, she had been diagnosed and had already gone through chemo, through radiation. This was her third bout of fighting metastasized breast cancer that she had twice before. She had stage 3 breast cancer, and then she had it this third time, and it was stage 4 cancer, metastasized in the bones. They did chemo, radiation. She wasn't responding to any of it. And the doctors basically said, go home, get your affairs in order, and go to hospice. They'll make you as comfortable as possible. But centralized medicine has nothing else to offer you other than try and make you as comfortable as possible. And that's when the patches came into her experience. Happens to coincide, believe it or not, coincided with X39 coming out into the market. It was just released right when she was having this terrible news. And so this is a picture of her. You can see she had a tremendous amount of inflammation in her body and her face, her eyes. There's a lot of inflammation. She had a lot of things kind of going on. And you can see the condition of her hair. This is 60 days, not 6 years, not 6 months, 60 days after she started on the patches. She looks like her own daughter. In fact, she doesn't have daughters, she has boys. But the bottom line is, this is a pretty significant transformation and improvement from where she was when she started on the patches in 2019. So I want to share, and then of course, 90 days, she looks just as good as she did, 60 days, maybe even better, some would argue. I'm going to share with you my screen showing the video of her. She just did this last Thursday, and I want to show it to you so that you see that she even looks better than that picture. So let's share this with you here right now. And she was doing a call with our practitioners. I don't see it here. Okay, so here it is. And as you can only imagine, she is very passionate about sharing this life-saving technology. This is her here in a still shot, but I'm just going to play a few seconds of it so that you can see. As you know, like just like this video, I can't touch it up. I can't take away fine lines, wrinkles. I can't make my hair lighter or darker. But here's Marcy.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday 9 a.m. practitioner call.
So you see that she legitimately looks probably even younger than she did in that last picture. Her skin is wrinkle-free. She's a woman over 50. You see her hair is shiny and lustrous, and you can see that she clearly looks like she's very healthy. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started with this 30-minute call where we're going to might go a little past maybe to 2:40 instead of 2:30. I'll do my best to keep within the allotted time, but I just wanted to share that with you guys so that you have that information nice and handy. So let me share with you about these incredible life-saving technology called the X39. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are. So let's get started about this. Photobiomodulation cell activation patches, also known as phototherapy patches or cell activation patches. Normally we talk about the Fantastic Five because there are 11 patches that are available, but tonight at 7 p.m. if you want to learn about all 5, they take care of the primary systems of the body. Right now we are just going to focus on the mother cell activation patch, okay? And so with that, let me share my disclaimer. These patches are not intended to treat, prevent, or cure any disease. We do not heal, cure, treat, or diagnose, nor do we offer protocols. The suggestions do not replace the diagnosis and treatment by a qualified licensed healthcare professional, your doctor. We strongly recommend you consult with your doctor concerning your specific health challenge and treatment needed. No medical claims are being made with the suggestions here. So the patches were not created for a particular condition. These are general wellness products. But as you begin to understand how cell activation works, you'll understand and realize that it resets and restores your entire body. So whatever it is that plagues you or ails you right now, pains, conditions, syndromes, symptoms, they all disappear because things get back in order to their original state based on your original blueprint. Little FYI, there is a little disclaimer from the FDA here. So the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has recently, just in the last 3-4 months, taken the position that all claims surrounding stem cells and healing, even those from natural products like ours, will be regarded as drug claims. So the FDA asserts that claiming that the use of light to elevate peptides, which this does, as GHKCU, which this does, is inappropriate for a general wellness product. So as a result, as of the fall of 2023, they say we can't say that anymore, even though we have 90 clinical studies done in the United States, Europe, and Asia that actually show exactly that, and 120 global patents that got through all the legal hoops in 82 countries. So moving on here. In 73, Dr. Lauren Picard discovered that GHKCU, copper peptide, activates a third of your previously dormant stem cells, turning genes to a younger, healthier state. So what are stem cells? They're pluripotent cells. That means plural plus potential is pluripotent. Each stem cell has many potentials. It has 100% of your programming. They're the smart cells that are basically coming into existence when your mother's ovum is united with your father's sperm. You have 23,688 genes and stem cells to form you now into your mother's womb, grow into an embryo, then a fetus, then a newborn baby. And then by the time you're 30 years old, 50% of those stem cells simply turn off. Not because they're damaged, not because they're destroyed, not because they disappear. They simply go dormant. Fast forward your timeline, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of age, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%. At 60 years of age, 90% of your stem cells turn off. And now you have 10% of what used to be 100% covered by all of your stem cells. That 10% has to now carry you and shoulder that work of remodeling everything inside and outside of your body until you take your last breath. Your body, as you're aware, is like your temporary housing unit, right? Houses the energy, the personality that is you. If you look inside of your body and become aware of what's going on inside there, each little smart cell is like a printer ink cartridge. And when you buy brand new ink cartridges and you put them in your printer, you make a color or a black and white copy. The copy is indistinguishable from the original. But when you've used up 70, 80, 90% of the ink, now those copies are faded versions of the original. So how do these patches work? Well, let's just touch your face, touch your neck, touch your forearm, and you feel that it's warm. If you were to take your temperature, you'd be running about 98.6, 98.7 degrees Fahrenheit, right? That heat, that temperature is evidence of the light that's inside your body. We are quite literally scientifically proven as light being. This is a spectrograph here that shows the electricity that's inside your body. Electricity is light. The type of light is infrared light. This infrared light that is not just contained within your skin walls, it emanates out of you. This is what activates when it comes in contact with the cell activation patch. It bounces off of this crystal lattice up to 4 inches deep into the body, activating GHKCU copper peptide, activating the P63 protein. Collagen is the #1 building block protein of the body, by the way. So if you were to look at a diamond crystal and I were to shine a flashlight on that diamond crystal, you would notice that the flashlight is the light source that directs the light to bounce off of the diamond crystal, which is like a mirror, reflecting back to your eyes all the different colors of the spectrum, right? These crystals, because this white looks like a white dot, but with adhesive around it, but that is actually crystals that are mimicking a diamond crystal. There's organic sugar crystals, organic salt crystals, organic hydrogen, oxygen, water crystals, and a proprietary blend of organic amino acids. They are arranged in a very specific pattern, very geometrical sequence with a specific frequency. And as soon as it makes contact with your skin, now the infrared light from inside your body bounces off of this crystal lattice, mimicking a diamond crystal, and it mirrors it back into your body 4 inches deep. And this rapid cellular repair takes place because 1/3 of your previously dormant stem cells, boom, boom, like floodlights, they're on. So while phototherapy has been, in fact, defined as the use of ultraviolet light for its healing effects, the light wave patches have been specifically developed to mirror back, reflect back the light in the infrared and visible light bands back onto your skin where the patch has been placed. So supported by normal electrodermal skin conductance, the human body gives off a number of materials biochemically, including particulate release, gas emission, ultraviolet, infrared, near infrared, and visible spectrum light. This then stimulates that area of the skin, producing improved physiological effects. Variations of phototherapy have been used for at least 100 years, and in that time, there's been little evidence of any negative side effects. So this suggests that this is a relatively untapped option for healing with relatively few risks. So the first documented use, and this is documented for thousands of years. We know the Egyptians and the Mayans and the Incans have used photobiomodulation, but the first documented scientific case was in 1895, and then Niels Ryberg Finsen in 1903 won the Nobel Prize for his research on using red light to treat tuberculosis of the skin. With his experiments with mice, Finsen found that exposing them to red light reduced both their symptoms and their mortality rate from lupus vulgaris. So think about that. We're in 2024. It's amazing. I'm still getting used to saying 2024. This was in 1895, the first documented case. So it's been around for a while. Just as a preface, in a hospital setting, we've been using bilirubin lights, that's photobiomodulation, for newborn babies who are born with immature livers. Their bilirubin levels are high, so they become jaundiced. We see that the white of their eyes turn yellow and their skin coloring turns yellow, which is your liver trying to purge the bilirubin through your skin because it's too much for the kidneys and for the liver to process it. So in the old days, prior to bilirubin lights being around, hospitals would open up their windows east facing, and in the morning they would put the babies so that they would get direct sunlight into their incubators and into their bassinets, so that the baby could then have that assistance in repairing and helping to mature the body, so that the body would then no longer have the manifestation of high bilirubin levels. Everyone is pretty much aware by now that doctors in surgery, we've been using lasers to perform surgery for the better part of 30 years as well. So the use of photobiomodulation is old shoe. It's just now that the public is starting to become aware of how they can empower themselves through using photobiomodulation to improve their own body's health and well-being. So let's talk a little bit here about, I want you to notice here that these are non-transdermal patches. I'm going to hold this up so you can take a really good look at this. I'm going to turn it around because that crystal lattice was a little folded, and I've got my fantastic 5 that I took off here, all kissing with each other. We're just the adhesive overlaps, but not the crystals, right? And these are non-transdermal. That means nothing transfers into the dermis being the skin. They're non-invasive. So those crystals of organic sugar, organic salt, etc., that is not being absorbed into the body. These are mechanical structures to reflect back your infrared light. So they're non-invasive, organic, holistic, FDA compliant, class 1 medical devices under general wellness category. We manufacture our products at FDA registered facilities. In fact, they inspect us every 2 years in the United States. And our facility in Ireland is actually registered with the Irish Medicine Board. So we manufacture our products to the same standards as a medical device. And in fact, our facility in Ireland is 9001 and ISO 13485. And those are quality standards. Okay, so it's very important to drink 50% your weight in fluid ounces of water. Yes, my friends and gems, 50%. So you weigh 100 pounds, that's 50 ounces of water. You weigh 150 pounds, that would be 75 ounces of water. Take your weight, divide it by 2, and then that's the number of ounces you need to be drinking. 150 pounds, 75 ounces, that's 2.2 liters of water that you need to drink a day, not all at once. You want to be drinking water from the moment you sit up in your bed, reach over and activate your metabolism by drinking water, breaking the fast of not having hydrated since the day before. And that immediately begins your digestive system to be awake and alert, and your cells immediately go, oh, great, she's hydrating us. We needed this. We haven't had any water since last night. At 2%, you will feel thirst in your mouth. At 8%, this is what a hydrated DNA strand looks like. You see beautiful helix figure 8 ladder. At 8%, your DNA unravels. Little known fact, did you know that your DNA is 92% water, whether you're an 82% composition baby at birth, or you're a 60-year-old that has 55% water? Your DNA is still 92% water, which is why a lot of people notice that once you're north of 50 or 60, 70 years old, they notice that they feel more thirsty more often. That's because your DNA still requires 92% water composition for it to work properly. But at 8% dehydration, your DNA starts to unravel. As your DNA unravels, that's the beginning of illness, of conditions, of symptoms, of systems starting to break down in the body. Not good. So literally, your primary structure that is responsible for your being starts to fall apart at 8% dehydration. 10% dehydration, guess what happens to your brain? You lose your mind. Yes, your brain is hydrophilic. It loves water. Hydro, water, philic, loving. Your brain is at 75% composed of water. Water, sugars, fats. A lot of people get headaches because they're dehydrated. Just drinking water will get rid of a headache and sometimes a migraine. So, good thing to know. 12%, 10 plus 2, 12. 12%, your body dies because it's like cement in your body. Nothing can get anywhere. Heart system shut down, you die. Nobody survives 12% dehydration. Now that you know about your DNA being 92% water, it makes sense. We know that water is highly conductive of electricity. Would be a very bad idea to take your wet hands and touch an outlet because you're going to get electrocuted, right? Your DNA is an energy amplifier to take care of all of your body. That's how it gets information to and fro day and night. All right. So, oh, by the way, back to our patches, we talked about 12 hours on, 12 hours off, then you discard, set aside, because now you're going to match your 12 hours that you signaled. You can think about having your whole house in darkness all day long. And maybe you only had 10% of your lights on when you woke up. And now you apply the patches, and now you have 43% of the lights in your home that are actually on. And then after 12 hours, you're like turning off. You're going to turn off that 33% by removing the patches. And now you're allowing that rest, repair, and that restore cycle. We love that restore cycle. So, oh, by the way, it's good to note that these things called fibroblasts, those begin to decline when you're just 25 years old in their production of collagen. Did I mention that collagen is the #1 building block protein for tissue inside and outside of the body? Not just for skin, but for any tissue inside and outside of your body. Pretty important. So I'm going to share with you this story about Kathy McCarthy, and then we're going to move on. Kathy McCarthy, she has been a professional skydiver. Fortune companies hire her and her troop of fellow skydivers to do these formations up in the sky. And 33 years ago, she began to suffer with autoimmune disorder from 3 breast implants. And so in January of 2022, one of our friends shared with her, hey, you really need for your autoimmune disease, you need to try these stem cell activation patches because they can repair and restore your body, and you can get relief from all these aches and pains and all these symptoms that you're having that no one's been able to help you with for 33 years. So she kind of looked at these little funny little band-aids and she's like, what? She goes, that little band-aid is going to do what an entire lifetime of all these doctors and experts and centralized medicine authorities haven't been able to do? I don't think so. They're like, just try them and see how your body responds. Drink lots of water. So she's like, okay, whatever. So she put the patches on and she was told, hey, make sure you take a picture now and every 30 days after so you can chart your progress and you can see yourself the improvement, because the improvements sometimes are so subtle that day to day we don't notice. But once you compare every 30 days, then oh my gosh, then you can see the results. So fast forward to March, just a couple months later, 3 months after being on the patches, you see how she has significantly less fine lines and wrinkles. 6 months later, wrinkles gone. She only has fine lines. July, fine lines, wrinkles gone. But all along the way, she was experiencing less symptoms. She was experiencing less, her pain disappeared and dissipated. And as she moved forward in October, she was feeling so energized and so fantastic. In fact, her husband in the first 3-4 months said, hon, look at your torso, look at your arms. He goes, you no longer have crepey skin in your torso and your arms. And she looked and she's like, I hadn't noticed. And he's like, yeah, look, it's like your skin is like nice. And so when she posted this on her Facebook page, I went ahead and I shared it to my Facebook profile page. And I thought, I'm going to share this, and people who know me are going to know that this is legit. But people are going to share it on their Facebook page, who are going to share it on their Facebook page. If I were a friend of a friend, I'd go, that's a photoshopped picture. And even though I don't know how to do Photoshop, someone must have done Photoshop on that. That can't possibly be accurate. Can't be true. Can't be real. So I called her up on Zoom, just like we are here. And I said, hey, would you be willing to come on and I'd love to share your entire story, soup to nuts. Would you be willing to come on? And she said, yes. And I said, would you give me a profile picture? She said, no way. I don't do profile pictures. Never have, never will. And she said, no, I don't take pictures of my face. I just don't do that. But, I don't care about you sharing the rest. And yes, I'll do the video. So we did the video. And after the video was done, I uploaded it to YouTube, shared it through my social media, Facebook, etc. And I sent it to her. And after she saw the video, you know, one of my points to her was like, people are going to see in the video and they're going to see that, you know, they're going to see your neck and they're going to see your chest and they're going to see that it matches. So after she saw the video, she's like, you know what? I changed my mind. Here's my profile shot. So that's why we have the profile shot now. But the profile shot, as you know, that can be altered through Photoshop. So what's cool is that in the video, you see she looks just like this. She looks like, even though she's now 64, she looks like she's a 35, 40-year-old woman. She looks 20 years. Some people would say 15, some would say 20, some will say 25. But the basic bottom line is she definitely looks younger than she actually is, which is she's now 64 years old. So let's get to the nitty gritty, the bottom line, so that you can experience this incredible technology. Anyone watching this right now, just for today only, if you reach out to me on whether it's Facebook or on YouTube, if you want to try one cell activation patch, I will gift you. This is $5 a day. You can get cell activation. We'll get into that in a minute. But the X39 pluripotent cell activation patch, it resets a third of your genes to a younger, healthier state by activating GHKCU copper peptide and the P63 protein. Like I said at the beginning of this presentation, the FDA last fall said we can't say that anymore. So that's why I'm saying cell activation instead of stem cell activation. The first of the year, supposedly we can say it again. That being said, let's move forward now that we have double full disclosure. So this regenerates your cells, replacing damaged cells with brand new cells, because instead of 10 construction workers, you have 43 construction workers. Big difference. It restores collagen, rebuilds scar tissue, replacing it with the original tissue, reduces fine lines and wrinkles. Who loves that? I love that. Increases your energy, increases your sexual libido. Yes, my friends and gems, because young people have a sexual libido. And because everything is being restored and repaired and regenerated, your body is being brought back into balance. Your sexual libido is going to go up, which goes hand in hand with increased energy. Increased antioxidants, anti-aging, anti-inflammatories. If you have pain, you'll experience anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes after applying the patch. Some people in as little as 30 seconds, 50 to 100% pain relief. I just patched someone this weekend and they had a headache that was a pain level of 8 or 9, pretty significant. And as soon as we put the patches on them, within a couple minutes, they went from an 8 to a 5. I thought, wow, that's progress. That's significant. They're like, never had anything work this quick on me before. So that's because you have your own cells that have turned on and you're having this rapid reparation. And I had put this patch as well as Ice Wave, which just turns off your pain receptors. We'll talk about that at 7 o'clock tonight. This also provides improved hair growth. Hallelujah for that, because I had a bald spot the size of my palm that was on my lower left, which I no longer have that bald spot. And my hair was dry, coarse, and brittle, and now it's nice, soft, and silky. I don't have to use a lot of conditioners or hair masks or any of that, waste any money or time on all that. I just shampoo, condition my hair, and I'm ready to go. Improve deeper, sounder sleep. How many people do we know that have interrupted sleep, have insomnia, have tried all sorts of different things with not much help? Guess what? I sleep like a baby now. And I had a traumatic brain injury. Not going to spend much time on this right now. I'm just going to flash this right now. I was hit by a bus just 3 blocks shy of finishing a 16-mile bike ride in 2017. So yeah, I suffered traumatic brain injury. That's brain damage. And in fact, it was so funny this weekend, I was talking to my dad, and my dad said, he goes, it's incredible how after that, such a major accident that you have totally recovered your short-term memory, and you have such a wealth of knowledge that you've accumulated that you can recall and share with people pretty much at any given time. He goes, your mental acuity is just like laser sharp. And that's really something that is usually, he goes, I've never seen that before. And so to have my dad acknowledge that, I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. I thought it was kind of even odd that he would even bring that up, but we just lost my cousin. So I think he's kind of recapping about, you know, life in general. So that being said, I want to go ahead and we already talked about the bullet points. I want to make sure you guys are aware and understand that we have a Veritas Consilium. It's a recommendation, a plan of action using traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture points to actually magnify the effects of the patches on the body. So the 90 clinical studies and all the instructions show that there are 2 default points that you can put on that everyone can benefit from. So when you first get your patches, you can put, like if you take your hand, whatever your dominant hand is, touch the back of your neck. And then as you go to the bottom of your neck, you feel that first little neck bump. For some people, it's very protruding. For some people, it's flat. Doesn't matter. That is where governing vessel 14. Governing vessel 14 is, that's where your brainstem branches down into your spinal column, signaling your autonomic nervous system through your spinal cord. It's like your main information highway. So anything related to basically your general well-being, your brain, neuromuscular things, your neurology, that's like my favorite acupuncture point. And then the second recommended spot is conception vessel 6, which is 3 finger widths right below your belly button. That acupuncture point deals with all things related to conception, reproduction, digestion, and hormones. So if you have anything related to any of those things, that's the best place to put it. Or if I've had people who could not physically raise their arms up because they had shoulder issues, they had things going on where they simply could not reach back there. So then just put it, the patches work anywhere on your body, head to toe. They're systemic in nature. What does systemic in nature mean? That means that they deal with systems of the body. So it's not just your stomach. It's your digestive system. It's not just your lungs that it's dealing with your respiratory system, your circulatory system, your cardiovascular system, your macrocirculatory system, your microcirculatory system, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Does that make sense? Okay. Oh, by the way, remember to drink water. 50% your weight in fluid ounces of water from the time you get up until the time you go to sleep. Just an FYI. The other thing to note about dehydration and being unhydrated. An unhydrated body, part of what happens separate from the things that I mentioned about 2%, 8%, 10%, and 12%, your proteins, when you're dehydrated, your proteins fold in half. Oh dear. I don't know about you, but if you were me and all of a sudden for whatever reason, I was condemned to being folded in half. First of all, I couldn't do this broadcast. If I folded in half with my head at my knees, where my butt's in the air, my legs and my head are down, I could not feed myself. I could not bathe myself. I could not go to the bathroom. I could not drive a car. There would be almost next to nothing that I could do. I would be even hard pressed to breathe, let alone speak or do anything else. Same thing is true for my proteins. When you're dehydrated, your proteins fold in half and they don't work properly. They interrupt something inside your body called the Krebs cycle. Not a good thing. So hydrate if you do nothing else. Let's say you're not even starting. I would never tell you what to do. Get started today on the stem cell activation badges. Drink your water. I mean, you don't have to do anything you don't want to. But if you want to feel better, if you want to look better, if you want things to operate better, if you just want to have general wellness, drink 50% your weight in fluid ounces of water. It can only help you and make your life better. Okay. This patch, when you apply it on your skin, you get a 30% increase in glutathione from wearing this patch. How do we know that? We've measured it. We have blood tests to measure that. We have scans to measure that. And we also have 90 scientific research studies that confirm that from all over the world, the US, Europe, as well as Asia. Pretty quite fascinating. I want you to hear about, because we do have another patch called the glutathione patch, which you're going to learn about that tonight at 7 p.m. But when it's worn 12 hours daily over a period of just 30 days, 4 weeks, to be exact, 4 weeks is 28 days. This produced a highly significant improvement in physiologic functional status of the pancreas, liver, gallbladder, intestines, left and right adrenals, hypothalamus, and pituitary gland, and a very significant improvement in your pancreas with a statistical power of at least 72%. So stated differently, all organs achieved significant cellular physiologic functional status improvement compared to a baseline with a statistical power of 91%. Pretty powerful. For those of you who want to neuro nerd out like myself and read this study at the end of this, which is in just about a minute or two, I'll share with you Start X39 now, and then you can check that out and read all 90 studies if you'd like. Okay. Oh, by the way, drink 50% your weight, fluid ounces of water. Then I have to come up with a little jingle or a little song. Okay. Oh, by the way, are you aware that this very screen that you're using, that you're seeing this presentation with your own two eyes, are you aware that the blue light from your computer, your desktop, your laptop, your notebook, your iPad, your trusty dusty cell phone, that blue light destroys your DHEA fountain of youth hormone? That's right. Blue light destroys your fountain of youth hormone until you wear a stem cell activation patch. Did you know that that blue light also causes inflammation in your body? It increases inflammation and increases insulin resistance, therefore causing mitochondrial dysregulation, which is the beginning, the genesis of all disease. Something to think about, that every day we are subjected to something that causes inflammation, destroys our DHEA, increases our insulin resistance. Also, the research is showing also that it makes you fat, which is incredible. But you can offset that. You can unring the bell of that damage every day for 12 hours. So that while you're exposed to this, you're wearing this little protective patch that is organic and holistic. Does that make sense? All right, we're just about done here. How much does this cost? Well, obviously, we can't charge you $1 million. And I've had people that I've started on the patches, including Dr. Stacy, who heads up our group. She paid $125,000 for her daughter who suffered a brain bleed, had to take her out of the country, and paid $125,000 for stem cell therapy to help Taylor become verbal, to improve her quality of life, just improve her overall well-being. And I got to tell you, she says herself that her daughter experienced more benefit when she first started her on the patches. In the first 2 months, for the first time in Taylor's life, she became verbal. She was actually able to speak. She went from being loopy and kind of out of this world, not really present, to being able to look her in the eye. Even her bone structure, her torso, her spine that was crooked while she was sitting in the wheelchair became straight within the first couple months. Even her right eye, because bones in her skull were starting to close up, which it was putting her right eye at risk of losing it. And the musculature, her muscles all started to reset to her original programming. Quite incredible if you think about it. So traditional stem cell therapies run 8 to 11 grand, sometimes as high as 25,000 per session. There's all sorts of moral and ethical implications if it's a donor stem cell from whatever the source might be. There's also therapies that use your own stem cells. If you're 60 years old, you only have 10% of your stem cells to begin with, so you're going to have less results than someone who's doing that type of therapy using their own stem cells. But again, it's a one-time IV, where maybe you have 4, 5, 6 sessions. It all depends. This is activating that 12 hours every day for the next 12 months. Big game changer. So for $5 a day, for the price of just a cup of coffee, a cup of a Starbucks here in the United States is $5.45 for a cup of coffee. For the price of 1 cup of coffee a day, you can get this stem cell activation. This is 30 patches. This is called a sleeve. So one sleeve has 30 days of patches. You wear one a day, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. This sleeve is an envelope, especially designed to protect the patches from light and from heat and so forth. And again, just for today, the people on YouTube and Facebook who are watching this broadcast, you are going to receive them. When you reach out to me, send me your mailing address. You can DM me, or you can contact me through Telegram. Let me know that you saw this. I will send you 1 day's worth of stem cell activation patches. You may not feel anything in the first 24 hours after starting on this. but plenty, about 82% of the people feel pain relief. About 82% of the people feel energy moving in their body. They feel deeper, sounder sleep. Actually, more than 82% get the deeper, sounder sleep. So everybody's body is different. Everybody has a different level of well-being in their body and disrepair. And so some people feel something immediately. I didn't feel anything the first 24 hours. The only thing I noticed was I had very deep, profound REM sleep. I woke up and I'm like, wow, I slept like a baby. I woke up, it was just deep, solid, sound sleep. And I had suffered from horrible, horrible insomnia before. Anyhow, I'm just going to share with you guys real quick. Instead of $5 a day, I can put you on a doctor wholesale pack for basically for $3.33 a day instead of $5. That's a significant drop in price. Here on the gold pack, instead of getting one of these for $149, you can get 5 of these. Plus, they give you free bonus product. The gold pack gives you the ability to get the Fantastic 5, where instead of paying $149 for 2, you get 5 instead of, 5 of them for $4.99. So it's basically $100 each, but then they give you $300 worth of free product. And for people who are like, well, I'm going to be on this for the next year, how do I buy it in bulk so I can get the lowest price? You save over 40% when you start on a diamond pack. So that is available. We can talk about that on one-on-one for anybody who's interested. Okay, so wrapping it up here, to learn more about the 90 clinical studies, for those of you who want to neuro nerd out, startx39now.com. For those of you who don't want to put off getting relief of pain, relief from getting that cellular repair, that increased energy, deeper, sounder sleep, and having the anti-aging, it's not anti-aging, it's actually reverse aging benefits every day, and the increased mental clarity and focus, reach out to me. We can get you started on a 90-day trial with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And if you don't have time to jump on a Zoom, you can call this number. This is not hooked up to a system. This is old school. I actually have to read the message or listen to your message when you call or text. And then I got to reply back to you with the bullet points for these patches, which this one has the graphic, but it'll just be text. It won't be a graphic. And to watch this replay, those of you who are on YouTube have already found me. So please hit that subscribe button. Click the notification bell so that you're notified every time we have a brand new video that goes up. Some of them are info Q&As like this. Others are testimonials of before and after. Stories of body and mind, yes, body and mind transformation on Love and Money Secrets TV. Or, like I said, you can go to damelillianwalker.com. That points to my YouTube channel. Hit that like button. Put in the comments below if you're interested. I'm interested. If you'd like the 2 Get Started text, then say, I'd like the 2 Get Started text. In case you didn't catch the phone number, I'll put it here again. And I want to thank you for being on this Zoom. If anybody has any questions, I can take 1 or 2 questions now, or if you want to join us back at 7, you can do that. Any questions, Paige or Sherry? No questions? Oh, here we go. Questions? Oh, here we go.
I mean, I appreciate this part of it, but is there where you can, like, I have a specific medical issue. Are there places where you can see progress where other people are battling the same thing?
Yes, so I have, okay, so I have once you get started, I have a Telegram group, which I can show you kind of real quickly here so that you kind of get an idea. You can pull that up so I can share that for you. But I have 6,500 people in one Telegram group and about 7,000 in another, and then I have a smaller group too. So for example, in this group, we have about 6,600 people. And so, for example, this particular person had Alzheimer's, they had some cognitive issues, they had tested positive COVID, no appetite, and after 4 days, her fever was gone. And this is a 96-year-old person whose mother was 96. Here we have also somebody who had breast surgery, and after treatment was rough, and you know, she was having trouble with that. She got tired, brain fog. She met Doris Gal, who told her about the patches. First day she had strong energy and walking her friend rather than walking behind. So we have many people who we're every day at 6 p.m. we do a testimonial call with 2 people that come on for 15 minutes each, and they're sharing what they were struggling with, what their diagnosis, what their conditions were before, and their progress since. Some people have been on the patch a day, some of them a week, some a month, some a year, or more. Here, this person is saying she saw a month ago, had a sore, had a sprained ankle, a sore with pain, extremely swollen, couldn't walk. Said she put here ice wave and X39 and Eon. Next day, no pain and the swelling went down. So yeah, we have plenty of testimony to answer your question. These are people who are already on the patches. So if you're not on the patches, I have another group that's over here. This is your info Q&A, so I can add you to this group so that you can ask any questions, or I could do a Zoom view and answer whatever questions you might have. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So our number one thing is to answer all of your questions.
Are you getting a backlash? I'm hearing her.
Oh, bad.
Yeah. I'm
Really
hearing-
bad. Struggling to hear.
Yeah, I'm hearing a backlash too, so I'm not quite sure why that is.
I didn't know if I was doing something wrong.
Yeah,
No, it's been that way the whole time.
Oh, throughout the whole thing, it was like.
No,
I'll have to
For
find
me,
out.
it's fine.
I'll have to find. Are you wearing headphones or earbuds?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
No, I had myself muted and the video off, and I looked to see if anybody else was open screen, you know, because a lot of time on Zoom calls, if there's
Yeah.
somebody, you know, if they're not muted, it can affect the transmission, but it's just been down to the 3 of us, but it's been like an echo, and I've been
I'll have
leaning
to-
in.
Let me find out from Zoom. I'll call their customer service and I'll find out their tech support, what can be done so that we don't have, I don't normally have that. So I'll have to find out and then let you know. I'll hopefully have that resolved before the 7 p.m. if you want to jump on at 7.
I didn't hear it during the recording, but during the question and answer, I started hearing it. So
Okay.
at least I got to hear the whole. So Lillian, you know, when I first signed up and ordered my patches, Ann told me about the Telegram,
Yes.
and I lost my phone, basically lost the screen, lost everything, had to get a new phone, start over. How do I get that back? All that Telegram, because that was where all that great information was that I haven't had access to.
Okay, so I'll add you back on. I've got your
Okay.
number. I've got your phone number, so I can add you to Telegram. I'll put you,
Okay.
you know, in the group so that you're connected and you have,
Okay.
you know, to use those groups as a resource, not only a resource library, because you can pull by condition all the different testimonials that have whatever that condition, that diagnosis, those symptoms are, but you can also use it to whatever questions you have, because there's about 900 plus doctors and holistic care practitioners throughout the world. So they can answer whatever your questions are about this, that, or whatnot, recommendations for patch placement. You can always, of course, reach out to me as well.
Okay.
But it's there as an educational, as a support, and as a resource library for you.
Okay.
And there's, of course, no additional cost for that. That's, you get started on the patches, you get that.
Okay. Now, I was telling you earlier that Sherry went to the doctor and she's got bone on bone. So there's nothing in between. Have you heard? And she's been in severe pain, like for 2 years now. Have you heard of that being cartilage and all that being rebuilt?
Yeah, that's actually unfortunately, very, very common. In fact, I just not too long ago, I did a video and I showed Dr. John Harmon, who he had bone on bone knee pain, and his doctor, I think I titled it, Doctor said, "How are you walking on that thing? It's a polished knob," because he had 0 cartilage. It was literally like a polished knob. So he had excruciating pain as well. But I have so many people who have had that, and then we get them started on the patches. I have them take like the Fantastic 5 patches and put it right below the knee, above the knee, the side of the knee, one side or the other. And usually, and oftentimes within 24 hours, all that pain is gone, even without the ice wave. If they still have pain after doing the Fantastic 5 around that, then we add the ice wave patch. you can order right off the bat the ice wave patch. So it just depends on your level of pain. But
Okay.
once you apply the ice wave takes a little bit more skill to apply in terms of being instructed, because you need to know either you do the mirror method, point to the spot on the knee where it hurts you the most, and then you're going to mirror reflect it on the opposite knee. So a tan patch on the left knee and a white patch on the right. Or you take a tan patch and put it on the inside of the knee. Let's say it's your right knee, you're going to put a tan on left and then like bookends. If this were your knee, let me come back and show you my knee. Can you see my knee? Yeah, you can see my knee here. So let's say this is my left knee. I would take the tan patch and put it, let's say, on the left, and then the white one, I would put it on the right. So it's like bookends, like a bracket. And then that will take oftentimes your knee pain down to either 50% or 100% gone. If that doesn't work, the mirror method is point to the pain. Let's say your pain is on the patella. You could put a tan on here, and then on your right knee patella. I had somebody who broke they fractured it in 3 parts. So they put the white patch on their right patella. You always apply tan first and white second. It's like reading left to right, always left to right. But I can just do a patch placement call with Sherry if she'd like, to figure out what's the best placement for her once she has ice wave.
Okay.
Do you like
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Now,
just want to get her out of pain as quickly as possible.
yes. Now, does it matter? So we're not going down the spine. If you're wrapping the knee into 5 patches that are kissing each other, does it matter which one's first, which one's second?
No, it doesn't matter the order doesn't matter. So I like to tell people, I like to do things in the same order each time so you don't miss any patches. So, and then you know that the one at the top is X39, 49, glutathione, carnosine, eon. The same whether you have it on your neck, below your belly button, or in your case, if you have knee pain, it could be wrapped around like this,
Okay.
below your knee, or it could be above your knee as well. I don't know if you could see that on camera.
Yeah.
The bottom line is to put it so that you're wrapping that area, and then that area is going to be lit up first. And that's what brings the pain level down, because you're getting cellular repair that's being focused on that spot first. Okay.
Okay, basically, there's nothing medically that could be done for my knee. I need to lose weight, and for them, it is put you on the schedule for a total knee replacement at 58, which is extremely uncommon.
Yeah. So
So there is no meniscus to basically on bone on both sides. Like there is no meniscus. Like I was so in shock, I didn't have the witherall to say, well, where did my meniscus go? Paige asked me that afterwards. I was like, I was just sitting there crying. I couldn't really think real clearly as far as. And then I looked up meniscus. Only 1/3 of the meniscus in your knee has blood vessels that actually go to it for blood flow, and the other 2/3 are. That's why they're like, well, you can heal 1/3 of your meniscus, but the 2/3 has no blood vessels or blood flow to it. So, I mean, but that's between the Google and the doctor, and I just came home and told lose weight, and of course, being extremely inactive for a year and a half.
well, because you're in so much
Had a
pain,
lot of-
you can't move. So we'll be able to give you some pointers and insights. So one thing is wearing the patches, because wearing the patches and drinking the water is going to make a big difference. Then I can give you some other indicators and pointers that you can do from the comfort of your home that will start to also help. That's going to be an add-on. And some of these things aren't going to cost you anything. So for example, I don't know whereabouts in the country you're located, but I'm in California. However, no matter where you're located in the country or the world for that matter, first thing in the morning, if after sunrise, once the sun is out, the sun faces east, if you were to just go outside or go to your balcony, or if you have a bedroom where if in your bedroom you have a window that faces east where the sun comes through first thing in the morning, you can open that window, and unrobed, you are just simply allowing that natural sunlight, which is 42% infrared light, just like your body. As soon as your skin receives contact from the sun, the air might be cold because it's early, right? But that increases your pulse oxygen rate, and it immediately starts to have an increase in UVA. The UVA light and the UVB from the sun is going to help produce more UVA, vitamin A and vitamin D, which turn into hormones in the body. So that's free. And as long as you can do, let's say 15 minutes, 7 minutes on one side of the body, and then turn over, so the back side of your body unrobed, all the photoreceptors in your skin is receiving that, so that you're signaling that on. And it's also helping offset some of the blue light toxicity that you have from screens and from the LED lights in your environment. So it's going to start to bring the inflammation down. And it's also going to start to help you start to regulate your body metabolisms so that you start to lose some weight. So those are just right off the bat, a couple, something that you can do right away. You don't have to wait to get on a Zoom with me. And that will also start to help. If you were wearing a pulse oximeter, a pulsometer, it measures the pulse and your pulse oxygen. You would see, I've had people who had 91, 92% pulse oxygenation rates, that as soon as they went out into the sun, for example, one gentleman who I know, he went out into his balcony because his balcony faces eastbound from his condo. And he said the moment he stood out and he was there unrobed, he said immediately his pulse ox went to 97, 98%. He said it was instant. I said, yeah, that's why I recommend it. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You just have to do it in the morning before you do anything else. After you've gone to the bathroom, done your business, brush your teeth, get out on that balcony. That's what I do. I try to either get out on my balcony. I have a top level here where the window faces east, or I run outside, walk barefooted on the grass with a little tank top and shorts, or I run across the street to the beach and then run, 7 minutes in one direction, 7 minutes back. And then I'm getting my fresh air and that increase in pulse ox, but my vitamin A, it's natural vitamin A production and natural vitamin D, which both turn into hormones of the body. I could not get that from any supplement because those are man-made. This is like the original vitamin A is restoring itself, because I'm just like flowers and plants and vegetables get photosynthesis. They get nutrients from the sun. So do we. So those are things that appear to be little and insignificant that are actually much bigger and much more significant. There's no drug on the market that you can take that as soon as you put it in your mouth, your pulse ox increases. Doesn't exist. The natural sunlight does that for us. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Fantastic. Well, I got to run now. I got to run now, but you know how to get a hold of me. Gage, I will add you to, I will be adding you here to the Telegram group. Sherry, let me know how I can help you, okay?
What is the 7 o'clock call and how do we get on it?
It's the same Zoom link that you have now, just at
Okay.
7 p.m. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care, my friends and gems. Ciao for now.
Bye.
Thanks.